this is Sherry at djsundry.blogspot.com, and today I have a card for you, and I'm using a sketch. Now, have you ever been just kind of drawn a blank, or you were in a hurry, didn't have time to think up a lot of details for a card? Well, I have a lot, and today's one of those. Now, as you know, I haven't posted lately. I've been pretty tied up with some family stuff, and so I needed to get these cards done, and so I needed something where I could really do something quick but still be pretty. So I went and I grabbed a sketch. Now this is sketch number 165 from Operation Right Home, and I went ahead and printed it off on a full sheet of paper just so you can see it. Now, just because we've got this sketch here doesn't mean that that's exactly how we have to make it. So I am going to show you the sketch. Now on this one, I used the card base, and it cut it, based on what I'm seeing here, it must have cut it at 5.5 inches wide by 4.25, which covers the full card base. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to leave a border, so that's one of the changes I made. And as we go through it, we have what could have been paper here, could also, I suppose, have been it was probably a strip of paper. I'm using ribbon. I'm pulling out my 3-Girl Jam ribbon. Then here we have a bow. Of course, you would think I would use my 3-Girl Jam ribbon, but I have an extra little thing that I'm going to do to kind of make this sketch my own. So let's just get going on it. Now, the first thing that I needed was paper. Now, if you're watching, you know that I recently posted a haul video where I bought a bunch of 6x6 pads. This is the Echo Park 6x6 This and That collection, and this one is called the Charming. And I wanted it because I'm going to turn this, what looks like a cute or pretty, depending on how you do it, card into a masculine card, and I'm using this 6x6 paper to do that. So let's just set that aside. I'm just going to set it up at the corner of my desk, which you're probably going to lose some of the effect of it, but it has my measurements written down, so I want it. I'm using some Ranger archival ink. I'm using a stamp that says, "May this year be your best ever." Now, I have pre-stamped one stamp for the outside of the card, and I will show that to you. It's from this same stamp set that I have, and you'll have to check out my blog to see where this stamp set came from, because I don't know off the top of my head. But this "May this be your best ever" and the "Happy Birthday" came together in a set, so I'm going to use that. I have my Fiskars Scallop Sentiment Punch to do the scallops. Oh, and here's the Happy Birthday that I used right here. So I'll set that aside up here. Now, for my card base, I chose Vintage Cream from Paper Tray Ink. This is a 5.5 inch wide by 4.25 inch piece of paper. So let's pull out the scoreboard and let's get started. You'll see how quickly this goes together. I'm going to score this at 4.25 to fold it in half. And rather than pull out my other bone folder, which is in hiding somewhere, I'm just going to score it just like that and set that aside for now. Oops, upside down. And then I'm going to do the inside of the card. Now, this is very simple, what I'm doing on the inside, and actually I scored that and then I folded it the wrong way, so I'll have some breakage there, but I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to open up the inside of my card, and all I'm doing with the inside of this one, and you know I like to finish off the inside of the cards, but again, as I mentioned, I'm in a hurry here. I need to get these cards done, and I just want to do something simple but still look nice. So this says, "May this year be your best ever." I'll just stamp that down using the archival black ink. And that's all done. Set that aside. Let me clean off my stamp a little bit so that it's not completely ruined. Stay black. Okay, and we'll just set that aside. And now that's all I'm doing to the inside, so let's move to the outside. Let's set the card base aside because I want to work on the decorative part. Now, I have already cut my papers, and these are double-sided papers from Echo Park, from that collection. So these were attached to each other. You'll see one side is plaid, the other side is polka dot. Now I want the polka dot to be my base color, and that's going to go on the card. And so then I have my plaid here, and then this is also from the same collection, and I've already stamped my happy birthday with the archival black. Now I know that this is a pattern paper, but it's kind of tone on tone, so you can get away with doing stamping on it. You can't always do that, but with tone on tone paper you can. And that was a good tip that actually came with this sketch. I forget about that. I try to stamp on my solid colors, but the sketch did mention that. I think it was this particular sketch from Operation Right Home. And if you aren't familiar with Operation Right Home, it's operationrighthome.org, and this is sketch number 165. So there are a lot of sketches on there, and they are full of inspiration, plus they do a good service for our men and women who are serving our country. So what I did is I cut this, like it said, at 1.5, but instead of cutting it at 5.5, I cut it at 5.25, because I didn't want it to run to the whole edge of the card base. So we're going to set that down. Now this particular sketch, which isn't normal for their sketches, but this particular sketch didn't give the size of this paper. So what I did is I cut it at 2.5 inches by the 5.25. So this is going to just butt up right to the edge. Make sure I've got it relatively straight. Now, you know, if you've used ATG much, you can't really peel and take off and on much, but that's why I did not press it down first. Now, my scallops at this size did not end up being right up to the edge, but that's okay. And I've got this little glitch here, but that'll be okay as well. So then we're going to center this right on the middle of our card base. And believe it or not, this card is really close to being done. So this, again, I'm just centering it, following the sketch. Now, again, this piece here is not the full side of the card base, because I wanted the card base to be the 4.25 by 5.5, and that one's not quite straight either. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to peel that up. Yeah, I am. Don't you just love it when you don't get things straight? Drives me nuts. I usually don't discover it until I'm taking the photograph. Okay, there we go. Now, I could just attach this down, but before I do, I want to add my ribbon. So the ribbon that I chose for this is Goblin Green from 3 Girl Jam, which I really like this color. And I'm just going to measure that to cut. I decided I wanted it to, I'm not tying a bow on this, I have a twist. Remember, I'm making the sketch my own, first of all, and second of all, I'm trying to make it masculine. Now, not that you can't use, whoops, sorry about that, not that you can't use ribbon in or even bows in a masculine card. If you watch my videos, you know I've done that many times. But for this card, I had something else in mind. The paper that collection had things like baseball and different sports and different things like that, but I wanted to do something else instead. So that's why I use the more neutral, though masculine, papers rather than using the sports ones. So now let's get this on and center it. Right. Like so. Now, at this point, if I wanted to tie a bow, because this is loose, I could take another piece of ribbon and tie my bow there. But here comes my twist. What did I do? I picked up from Hobby Lobby these gemstones with the mustaches. We all know that mustaches are really kind of trendy right now. And I thought, how fun would that be, instead of tying a bow, to put a mustache on there. Now, these are already stickered, so I can just set that down and that'll anchor that ribbon. So there we go. Happy birthday with a little mustache on it. Isn't that cute? And it says, may this year be your best ever. Now, this is a really masculine card. and that's what I was going for, but I pulled another pad of paper and made a second one. I also used the Echo Park This and That, only this one is the Graceful collection, and this is the feminine counterpart to this Charming collection. So I pulled that, and this time I used my cherry lipstick 3 Girl Jam ribbon, and I made basically the same card, only this one's with a bow. It says happy birthday, obviously a more feminine font. And then on the inside, this one says, may your day be filled with sunshine, smiles, laughter, and love. So 2 completely different cards using the same sketch. Now this one I know will need to have an extra postage. So remember, if you're adding bulk to your cards, you need to add some extra postage. I think it's like 20 cents, although it may have gone up at the first of the year, I'm not sure. And then this one may or may not, probably because there's enough of a knot there, it probably will. If in doubt, you can either just throw on the extra stamp or take it to your post office and they will tell you. So there we have it, 2 completely different cards using a sketch, and I have 2 more cards ready for my birthday stash. So thanks so much for stopping by today, and remember to take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.